Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Water in the Soul podcast. You guys already know who it is. It's Kayla, and I hope everyone is doing well. I know the holidays just passed, so Merry Holidays is what I say, and I pray that everyone had a good holiday season, had a good break for all my people in school. Um, Whether you celebrate Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever tradition or whatever holiday that you celebrated, I hope that it went well. I had a good holiday. Didn't Nothing too crazy. Spent Christmas Eve with my family, Christmas Day with them. My boyfriend came out Christmas Eve and hung out for a little bit, then came Christmas night, kind of hung out, talked, all the fun relationship stuff, lol. And then we had a good time. Like me, him, and his son, me and my family. We had a blast. We had a good time. We had a good day. Well, a couple days, I should say. Um, so nothing too crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay. There's a lot of changes that are going to be happening on my end. So I I'm trying to figure out where to start, y'all. My bad. Let's start here. Told you guys I was in the book of Luke. I know I did an episode about the prodigal son and that whole parable that Jesus had spoken about. And I loved reading Luke. I read all 24 chapters within the 24-day span. And it was really, really, really good. And God was speaking to me a lot through that entire book. You know, from from a lot of from Jesus' parables, like the prodigal son and the parable of the sower. Those are really good. Just y'all, the Bible's great. The whole book itself, that's the whole book itself was good. Like you guys can really see, like if you guys hear dangling, it's this. I apologize. I'll hold it. Lots and lots of notes. Like it's insane. So we have my Bible, like annotations, highlights, everything. And it was like really, really good and really, really refreshing to just do that. You know what I mean? Just to really like dive deep into his word, highlight, write, like put this baby girl to use. You know what I mean? And it was really, really, really good. And as I was reading, as I was finishing, and came to the end of Luke, I'm sitting here. It's like, okay, like what book do I want to start now? You know what I mean? Like, what book do I want to start? What do I want to read? Do I want to do like really like in depth Bible study? But like for me, anything that I do is kind of in depth, so I don't. I wouldn't really know how to. Actually, yeah, I would. I lied. My bad. But, you know, just in depth, do I want to do this? What book do I want to read? Do I want to go Old Testament? Do I want to stay in the New Testament? And I was just kind of sitting with what I read in Luke and praying. And this is one of the closest times that I felt to God in a very, very long time. Like diving into my word, having grace over myself if I missed a day, um, really seeking Him. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on for me, like outside of this. So, you know, like stuff with school, my relationship, you know, being a daughter and a sister, a girlfriend, you know, a friend, you know what I mean? It's a lot sometimes to juggle, and being a full-time student at my university. So it's a lot, you know what I mean? But I've really been like pressing into God, and this is the closest I felt to Him since. Like I've been hearing Him speak a lot more clearly. I've been being more honest with Him, and I'm realizing the more honest I am with Him, the deeper that He could work in me. And that's been so refreshing, because I'm saying like, oh yeah, like therapy's been helping, because it really has been. I haven't been in about 2 weeks though, only because of the break and the holiday season as well. But not only has therapy been helping, but this has also been helping. Like I said, like I've been really reading into it, and I'm like, dang, like I want to be like this person. I want to pray like this person. I want to be like Jesus. Like I want people to like hug me, and every time they hug me, they just feel like they're hugging Jesus. Or like if someone squeezes me, that all that comes out is the fruit of the spirit and Jesus. Like that's the type of love and person that I want to like radiate and be. You know what I mean? And so that's been like really, really nice. I recently started First Samuel, and we're introduced to Hannah, right? So being introduced to Hannah. She is a wife to Elkanah, who has another wife. That's crazy. Has another wife named Peniah. So we have Peniah, Hannah, and Elkanah. Elkanah has both. So apparently polygamy, I believe that was the word that my like sub notes used, was really normalized back in that time. So yeah. So Elkanah, Peniah, and Hannah. So Peniah was able to bear children and have children, and Hannah could not. Every single time that they would go, I believe, to the church to pray, make sacrifices, do what they needed to do, Peniah would irritate Hannah and bother her to the point that she cried. Remind you, I feel like Peniah was like a bragger of like the kids that she had, like, oh, like I have kids, you don't, you're barren, yada 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 yada. And poor Hannah is just like, bro, like I'm just like praising the Lord, I'm praying, I'm sacrificing, do what I need to do, and you over here bothering me. Hannah was in such deep anguish that instead of lashing out and crashing out on Peniah and maybe even Elkanah, she went to the Lord. Because Elkanah was like, dude, am I not worth more to you than sons? Remind you, I don't even think Elkanah knew what Peninnah was doing to Hannah. So it was like a little triangle. I did this from my point of view. Sorry, y'all. Like, it was this whole thing. And Hannah went and prayed in anguish and cried out to God, like, Lord, like, this is where my heart is. If you give me a son, I will dedicate him fully to you. And then Eli, who was a priest, was like, dude, like, stop being drunk. Because, like, you could see, I believe. So this is for. We're going to open the word, guys. I'm trying to do stuff off of memory. Sometimes it's not the best. But, if y'all heard me squeeze that into my ear, I deeply apologize. Yeah, so verse 10 in 1 Samuel chapter 1. In her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly, and she made a vow, saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. And she kept on praying to the Lord. Eli observed her mouth. Hannah was praying in her heart, and her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. So I feel like it's very possible that Hannah was like praying in her heart, but maybe like whispering or like mouthing the words, like sometimes like we'll like mouth stuff to each other, like, and you can't hear it. I feel like that's just kind of like what she was doing. And Eli was like, yo, like, are you drunk? Like, let's not, right? He literally says, how long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine. The Bible cracks me up sometimes. I'm sorry. And Hannah said, not so, my lord. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief. Excuse me. Listen to what Eli said. Eli answered, go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked him. Imagine that. Like, you're praying in deep anguish, and a guy was like, hey, like, put away your wine. And then you're telling him, no, like, I'm just hurting. And he says, go in peace. May the Lord grant what you asked him for. And you know what Hannah did? She went away and ate something. And she was no longer downcast. She wasn't hurt anymore. And I love that so much, right? Because that was like confirmation in a way, you know? And something that I noted at the top as I was like annotating and stuff, even in anguish, Hannah prayed and poured her heart out to the Lord. Even provoked, she stepped away and she felt her feelings. She felt her feelings, but she wasn't led by her feelings. And I feel like that's something that I struggle with sometimes because, like, I'm a big empath. I'm a big feeler in that aspect. And sometimes my emotions are bigger than what my words can put out. And I have to, like, really, like, process. And I love, 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 love how she felt them, but she stepped away even when provoked. She maybe was provoked and started crying. I know I do that, but she stepped away. She didn't like talk back to Penaniah. She didn't smack Penaniah. She didn't crash out on Penaniah or Elkanah for that matter. But she went to the Lord and she poured her heart out fully to the Lord. And I found that so beautiful because I understand anguish. I understand pain. Like, her anguish was a whole different type of anguish, but I do understand that emotion. I do understand grief. And I just found that so, 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 so beautiful. And I wanted to be that person to fully devote. She said she was going to devote her son to the Lord. For me, I want to fully devote myself to the Lord. So and then now you're probably asking, well, Kayla, how are you doing that? Well, I deactivated my main Instagram account, and I was just kind of getting tired of social media, everything that was getting put out there with the celebrities and a whole bunch of other stuff. And, I was comparing myself to people. Like, dang, when is this going to happen to me? Yada, 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 yada. You already know the details with that. And I'm only going to be posting on my podcast account. So if you guys haven't followed that already, it is watering the soul _ that is it. Y'all will see my logo, and you guys can follow it there. I'm kind of revamping it a little bit, so I made highlights. Don't mind the arrows. They were supposed to point one way. Wow, the moment that I posted it, they switched. So it's like, oh, like click backwards. Don't click backwards. Y'all know how to go on Instagram. Just click, click, click. Okay. That was just so funny to me. So in my highlights, I have a little bit about myself, and then about the podcast and kind of the story of the podcast, right? Then, like, you guys are gonna see like 3 pictures, and they're just leaves. That's just kind of me just like refreshing everything, because I thought about deleting the other posts underneath it and archiving them, but then I realized that a lot of people do still watch those videos. They still get sent. They still pop up on people's feeds, and the Lord also doesn't want me to delete them. So I said, okay, I'll do that and just kind of go from there. So I will be posting more about my life on that page, like probably posting like little like edits, little vlogs of like things I do with my family, things I do by myself, like maybe like get ready with me, come spend the day with me, have Bible study with me. I'm still kind of learning the gist as I navigate through this and like go to God, seek Him, and continue to seek Him. But that's basically what I'm doing. So I deactivated my main account on Instagram, and will be posting and having Watering the Soul in that page active. I will not be on it as much, but I will still be posting and making content, so when I have enough content that I want to post, I will post it then and then go from there. And then I also deactivated my TikTok. Doom scrolling, that's literally all that I do. Like, I'm a big doom scroller. I get easily distracted, right? And so that gets really difficult because there's stuff that I want to do that I know I need to do, and then I don't do because of TikTok or Instagram. And it's so bad because it's like, okay, I go on there to like post and make content, and then I actually don't do any of that. I end up just scrolling. Like, oh yeah, this new trend, this, that, this. Matthew Gray Goobler. For those who know, you know. I love Criminal Minds. So leave that there. And so that gets difficult for me. So I had to delete everything, and I was just kind of getting tired of it, like wholeheartedly. So I'm learning a lot. So after like deleting those, I didn't realize how often that we checked our phones just to go on the app. Because I'm like, I picked it up the next morning and swiped off my screen to go to it. I was like, nah, that's crazy. I don't want to do that. I want to get out of that habit. So I'm very happy that I deactivated both of those accounts. And on my Watering the Soul page, I can't really doom scroll because all it is steps how to make content, which is what I need. And so I'm kind of shifting like my focus to do so. So that's that as well. And I go back to university next weekend, and I start back next Monday. Not the most excited, but also excited because I'm asking God to like kind of shift my mindset when it comes to my education and my learning. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited as He's continuing just to like speak through me, and me taking breaks. I am very, very hard on myself, and that's not even a lie. That's not even a front, because I am. I really am. Like, I feel like I give a lot out and pour out a lot and then forget that I also need to be poured into. And that's kind of difficult for me because all I've known is kindness and pouring out love, but I never learned how to receive it, if that makes sense. So, like, receiving love from God as a father figure is really difficult when I've been hurt by father figures. So, my father and then like other father figures that have like hurt me, and it's really difficult to see God as something that your worldly mind has always hated. So it's difficult to receive love, unconditional love at that, because I know some of us may have family or like we do things to make people love us, if that makes sense. Like my whole life I felt like I've had to fight for my family's love, um because of everything that happened, with my parents getting divorced and everything. Like I felt like I had to fight for their love, or I had to do certain things to be loved by them. And it definitely ruined my entire perspective on everything. You know what I mean? And especially God, because it's like, dang, like God really loves me even though I mess up and sin, but his love will always be conditional. Unconditional. I think I said underneath my breath and conditional came out, sorry. But his love for me will always be unconditional. He's not a conditional God. He's not a conditional person. He is an unconditional, merciful, loving God who gives justice. And I'm not crying. I'm not gonna cry. But that's just who God is. And so that's been really, really nice. Being off of Instagram for and TikTok, at least for the last like 2-3 days. Cause y'all, I'm not kidding. Like my family and I took a trip to Solvang yesterday, Solvang, California, about like 2.5 hours from my house, right? And oh my gosh, I was so present, and I was making videos to make little vlogs, like little like Solvang trip video type thing. And it was really, really fun to do. I'm not even gonna lie. And like my feelings got hurt during the process. And like for the first time in my life, well, it felt like it. I didn't lash out. I just got quiet and I just kept editing my video just as an outlet. And I'm like, dang, like the more that I read the word, the more I realize I'm becoming like Jesus and being slow to anger, slow to speak, and quick to listen, you know? And oh my gosh, it was so like refreshing. You know what I mean? So it was really, really nice to like really see myself start becoming more and more like Jesus. Like I'm realizing like a different glow. Like when I say like there's major things and major changes happening in my life, like this is one of them. Like my emotions and how I don't lash out, but I shut down really easy. So I'm shutting down less. I'm waking up earlier. And so as you can see, my hair is done. I don't know how many episodes where my hair wasn't done. Probably more than half. My hair is done. I curled it with product and it looks really good. I'm finding products for my hair. I'm doing new skincare. I kind of see a little glow. Like I'm realizing the more that I spend time with Jesus, the more I look like Jesus. And I am so ecstatic. I'm so happy about it because it's like, dang, like I'm putting in the work and I'm seeing results. I've been going to the gym. My weight fluctuates right now, and I'm okay with that. But I've been in the gym. It's been helping my mental health. It's been helping my physical health. Like I'm seeing a difference in a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. Like my posture's changing. I know I'm kind of hushed over a little bit, but I'm trying to change my posture. I'm walking more confidently. I'm liking the clothes I'm wearing. Like I am becoming the woman that I've always wanted to be. And my mom got me a new book by Stephen Furtick. Before y'all say anything, because I know some of y'all gonna have something to say. Stephen Furtick is not one of my favorite preachers, okay? But I'll be real with y'all, he can write a book. And it's called, it's somewhere on my bed. It's a book by Stephen Furtick. Do the New You. Thank you, Spirit. It's called Do the New You. And it's, my mom knows about my journey with this podcast, with the word. She's seen it literally grow. She's literally seen me grow into fruition with this. And it's been really nice that she's been so encouraging with my journey. And so she's been giving like Christian books, like what to read, like I'm asking her questions. It's been so great. And God's been really tapping into my creativity side and helping me and navigating me through that as well. It's been so, so, so nice. Like on the way to Solvang, that's also where I wanted to continue. On the way to Solvang, to LA to go get my uncle and my aunt who was coming with us to Solvang. I wrote 2 poems. So for those who don't know, I write poetry. I love poetry. I love journaling. I love writing. I wrote 2 poems yesterday, and I'm actually probably going to post on here one of the poems that I wrote. And it felt so great just to write and to get into the zone of creativity. You know what I mean? And so that's just something that's been going on, something that I've been doing. You know what I mean? And so for those who want to start doing new stuff or who want to make New Year resolutions, watch a sermon this morning. Craig Groeschel's church, Life Church, he is one of my favorite pastors. Fantastic, great guy. He had a guest speaker, or I think one of the other pastors that works at the church. I'm not sure. He said something to me that stuck out. And he said, put in my other app. Sorry, y'all. He said, if it's important enough to do tomorrow, it's important enough to do today. And I know you're probably looking at me like, what's that supposed to mean? We make New Year's resolutions every single year, right? We are literally about 2 days away from New Year's Eve, and then we're 3 days away from the New Year, right? We're always like, okay, we want to I'm going to get a gym membership. I want to lose weight. I want to focus on my health. I want to make more money, do this, do that, yada, 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 yada. That's kind of what his basis was on today in that sermon as well. And he was like, you guys want to start then, but why not start now? And that kind of smacks me in the face. But at the same time, I was laughing because I'm already doing it. You know what I mean? Like, he's right. If it's important enough to do tomorrow, it's important enough to do today or even start today. I don't know what New Year's resolutions you guys have, but start now. Start when you're listening. Start right now. Like, after you listen to this podcast, or even pause me right now. Pause me. Go plan something. Come back and listen to the rest if you want. Up to you. But I want you guys to really understand that concept of starting now. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. I know that's hard for a lot of people to say, but it's the truth. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. Shoot, we're not guaranteed an hour from now. But right now, if you're listening, God woke you up for a reason and for a purpose. Yes. Yes, he did. He woke for a purpose, for a reason, because there is something in you that he has yet to bring out of you. There is a purpose why you are alive and breathing this morning. Take it from someone who wanted to kill themselves. And that's me being blunt. I wanted to end my life. I felt like I had no purpose. I was blamed for a lot of different things that occurred. But where I wanted to put a period, God put a semicolon. He said, not yet. I have that tatted on my ribcage. I have a butterfly, and the body is a semicolon. Butterflies really have a big symbolism with me and God. So that's just me. But I really want you guys to understand that concept of start now. I want to make money. Okay, find ways to make money. Go apply for new jobs. Kayla, God's calling me to do something, but I'm scared. Take a leap of faith. There's this content creator. Her name is Jana. She's so sweet. Christian content creator. Never met her, but I followed her for a very long time. Still do, I believe, on Instagram. My deactivated account. The Lord told her to literally drop everything and move to a whole new state. And she did. And I got to see her Instagram post. She graduated college. She's now getting her health a lot better, all because she took a leap of faith. And for me, I'm seeing that in myself. I deactivated both of my accounts. I've been in the Word. Like I said, I started 1 Samuel yesterday. I'm in the Word. I'm starting facial care. Very simple 2-step process at night. Don't come for me. I'm doing my hair. It's curly. You guys see the curls. I'm obviously blonde. Again. And I'm really seeing a difference. I'm getting more creative. I wrote one of the best poems I think I've written in such a long time. I wrote new poems yesterday. I'm getting into my creativity. I was born to create. The Creator made me, right? So I am creating for the Creator, basically. This podcast is me creating because this God, our God, my God, has been so faithful to me. Sending Jesus to die on the cross over 2,000 years ago for me. He knew me before I even knew me. He knew me before, period. Before everything, before all creation, before the animals, before the sparrows that I see in the sky. He knew me before everything. He knew you before everything. It's time to take some steps, guys, however that may look like. Is there a relationship that you need to leave? Is there someone that you're finding comfort in where you should be finding God? Are you idolizing people instead of God? Are you idolizing social media instead of God? Anything above God is an idol. Okay? For me, respectfully, I had 2 feet. I have 2 feet. Duh, Kayla. But I had one foot in social media, still like scrolling and doom scrolling, knowing that I had a purpose, while still trying to read the word and do everything that I do for this podcast, for everything. And I wanted it to stop. Like either they felt like a tugging on my heart saying, girl, like get the heck up. And I did. And I'm setting boundaries. Like after this book that I'm done reading, after Stephen Furtick, like I'm gonna read a book literally called Boundaries. I've started it several times. I just never finished it. And I'm going to learn how to create boundaries. Because a lot of the stuff that I got myself into, well, not even got myself into, but like said yes to, or the people I said yes to, respectfully, I let them walk all over me due to my lack of boundaries. And I'm not even gonna front with y'all. I suck with boundaries because I've never been taught how to set them, right? So, I'm taking a lot of my joy back. I'm taking my joy back. I'm taking my strength back. The devil can't have me anymore. I still may struggle with my depression. I still may struggle with anxiety. But just because I struggle with those things doesn't mean that the Father isn't here with me, helping me get through. I believe, at my church, our pastor talked about 3 parts of the storm. Yeah, before the storm, in the storm, and after the storm. But what's most important? The most important is in the storm. Because before the storm, you're good, all jolly, yada, 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 yada. But in the storm is where you need to seek God more. I'm not saying don't seek God before and after the storm too, but when you're in the storm, ask God, what is he trying to speak to you? God, why am I going through this? What do I need to learn? What are you trying to prune out of me? Because in the storm is where God is most... in this... Y'all know what I'm trying to say. In the storm is where God meets us. He meets us out of the storm and before the storm too. But in the storms is where we are most likely to draw into him. And I don't want us to keep giving God glory only when we get out of the storm. You guys, we're going to face so many storms in our lives, no matter what. But it's who we praise and who we hold on to in the storm that will make a difference. So who are you holding on to in the storm? Or what are you holding on to in the storm? Because that's going to make the difference. I want to leave you guys with this verse. You guys know I always come back here. Matthew 11:28 through 30. It begins by saying, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The more that we come to God and seek him, the more that we become like him. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're praying for. I don't even know what your life may look like. But I want you to know that God saves, God heals, he renews, redeems, and restores. Take it from me, a 21-year-old young woman in college, in a relationship, who before even received any of these things wanted to end her life, who self-harmed, who saw herself as the most nastiest thing on the planet, to now me being 21 years old, because I didn't think I was going to make it to 16, 21 years old, in a relationship, met all my cousins that I would not have met if I did end my life, or the friends that I would have met if I ended it. There's hope and there's peace, and it truly does get better. Have I lost people along the path? Absolutely. But my God still stands. My Father in heaven still stands. And I want you guys to hold on to that. So that's my little update with life, what God is doing. I'm not on socials. Like I said, you guys can follow Watering the Soul podcast. I will be posting. You guys can text me on there, but I will most likely try not to respond to DMs, only so I don't get, like, stuck. But if you do text me, like, I'm not going to blatantly ignore you, okay? But I'm here to pray for you, to love on you, to encourage you, and just forgot to just speak to you through me, okay? As I always say, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay hydrated. And now, most importantly, get outside and get into the Word. This will do wonders, okay? I love you all. Have a great day, night, evening, wherever you're at, whenever you're listening. And just continue to seek God, okay? Love you. Bye.